Hello, my name is Sarah Sayers, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the autism spectrum disorder, chapter 12. Um, so, what is autism spectrum disorder? And Autism is a neurodevelopmental disability that affects verbal, social performance, and nonverbal communication in children. Um, the newest definition that I could find recognizes that there is an individual, um, a variance on each individual child that is diagnosed with it. Um, the autism can range from mild to severe. Um, Many will experience intellectual disabilities. Most of the time, it is diagnosed in early childhood. Unfortunately, there is no cure. The only thing that there is effective treatment, education, and um, which can positively impact autism individuals and families. Some other things is communication delays and pervasive behavior. How do I know if my child has autism spectrum disorder? Well, a child can be diagnosed between the ages of 2 years. Boys are more likely than girls to be diagnosed with it. Um, the diagnosis is usually made by a pediatrician. Um, Characteristics include delays in language, lack of speech, restrictive behavior, repetitive patterns of behavior. Some of that behavior could be flapping of hands, delay in social skills, delay of eye contact, facial expressions, um, anything along those lines. Tools to diagnose autism spectrum disorder. Um, they usually use rating scales. Teachers who are suspect and from the general education classroom uh, are usually asked to fill those out. The CAR scale is called the Childhood Autism um, Rating Scale. It's actually the first scale to be developed to help diagnose autism. That is a 15-item questionnaire that is used to screen for autism spectrum disorder. Other scales include the GARS. The GARS is a Gilliam Autism Rating Scale. That is organized into 6 subscales: restrictive repetitive behaviors, social interaction, communication, emotional, speech, and cognitive. How can a person test for autism spectrum disorder? Um, One way is by using the psychoeducational profile. That is uh, that test is determined in which a child has mild to severe autism. It comes with 2 parts. The first part is called the caregiver report. That's usually made by the person who's in charge or has most contact with the child, which could be a parent, a guardian, anything of that sort. They usually are asked to identify a child's category that interfere with their development. Another part is called the performance profile. That comes into 10 subtests, 6 measure developmental abilities, and 4 on the behaviors of the child. Assessments continued. There's also ongoing data collection on goals and objectives to help monitor progress. Important to find activities in which child is interested in to keep engagement. So whether that could be Spider-Man or Princess Elsa or Legos, it's very important to find what that child is interested in, which is going to be helpful to teach them later on. Um, it also can be opportunities to promote engagement, like I just said, um, if once you know what the child is interested in. Accommodations that we could use in the classroom. Um, Hiring a paraprofessional. A paraprofessional usually assists the students in completing tasks. The responsibility of the teacher to provide information about the student. Again, that would go back to finding the interest of the child and um, telling the paraprofessional about that, so that way it would be easier for the child to become engaged and interested in what is needed of them. Another accommodation that a person could use is called applied behavior analysis. Using a specialist who knows how to teach autism spectrum disorder strategies based on behavior analysis. Um, Another is speech language pathologist. Those could be for the more severe types of child who have autism, one who kind of lack communication, um, don't really know how to communicate well. You bring those pathologists in to kind of help with that. And occupational therapists for the most severe. Classroom modifications. So these would be the things that teachers need to keep in mind when teaching a student with autism spectrum disorder. First things first, they benefit from a schedule. Whether that be written, pictures, symbols, written list, planner, um, as long as it is seen, as long as it can be seen by the child, and then they know what's going to be happening next, that is definitely helpful. They thrive on routine, so make sure that the routine is every single day and there is no exceptions. Use transitions. So say a child is outside and it's time to come inside from recess, you need to always let them know, we have 5 minutes left. Um, we're going to be moving on to math here in about 10 minutes. It kind of helps with the warnings. A timer would also work very well. Please keep in mind that group work is more difficult for them because of the lack of social communication skills. They thrive on individual work. You also want to be able to challenge them, but do not overwhelm them. They will also need extra time to respond to others. When asking a question, it might take them a little bit longer to raise their hand or to come up with the answer. And sometimes they do not respond well to oral instructions. So these teachers have to keep this in mind. Of the one method that a teacher could use is by using pictures or photographs to teach kids. Another way is called a picture exchange communication system, or PECS. PECS is a method to teach children with disabilities to begin communication through picture or photographs. It's widely used for those without oral communication skills or who have trouble uh, with that. There's two phases. There's the early phases, which is approaching adults and exchanging photos of what they want. The later phases is requesting sentence form, commenting on observation and environmental, and selecting items. Uh, some more modifications that could be used in the classroom. Video modeling, which is used to self-evaluate, watch others. So a person could be taking a video of um, a social interaction, take a video of it, play it back to the child. It kind of helps them absorb um, how to do these kinds of things by watching other people do them. Um, they understand what is said literally. So say, I feel like I got hit by a truck today because I feel sick. They are going to literally think that you got hit by a truck and wondering why are you still alive. So you just have to make sure that you they are better with facts and you keep it as close to the factual statement as you possibly can. They will likely need to practice conversations and social interactions. Um, and they may need to learn nonverbal communication. Again, this needs to be directly taught and cannot learn by others. So the only way that autism students are going to learn is if they do it themselves. Promoting social skills. Putting autism spectrum disorder students in a general education class is very important. They have um, interactions with the general peers around them, around students who, thrive in social settings. It can kind of help them out a little bit. This can also help them practice skills whenever possible. There are 3 different levels of skills, social skills, in which autism students might reach. The first one is beginner. Um, that is reaching eye contact, greetings, requesting items. The second level is the intermediate level, which is following directions, offering information, etc. And the advanced level, which is responding to conversations and being able to express empathy. Um, Sometimes active teaching of social skills is still needed, um, but we'll have to be careful on how those are taught, because if no strategies or structure, the student will choose to stay alone and not interact with their peers. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Sarah Sears, and thank you for listening to my presentation on autism spectrum disorder.